In 2025, we'll find so many cool games with top anime ARPG graphic in a AAA level gameplay. In this video, I would like to combine the upcoming anime game that is worth anticipating with and also the current games that has been released globally but the developer keep giving an update by enhancing the gameplay, graphic and also event like a collaboration and many more. Remember to support this channel by tapping a like and please enjoy the video of Top 10 Best Anime ARPG Games 2025, Anime Game Action RPG 2025, Android, iOS. The Hidden Ones. All people should see this game's combat scenes with a great attention to detail, especially on how well the object will destroy around us and martial art action, because it is made of a realistic motion capture. There is some action we need to master like parry, deflect, counter. This all action will be determined by the brightness color showing up in a short period of time. For example, if the blue light means we can do a parry action, but when it turns into red, then we can't do a parry, with an interesting combination of martial art and magic spell. Seriously, this game has a high mechanic gameplay, so concentration is the key to train your reflex. PvP are available to play and test your skill by defeating the other player's hero. There are story mode and duel mode, where the story will show us how the voiceover has an English version already, even though it is not fully an open world, but at least we can do a little exploration. The Hidden Ones is the best new anime RPG games 2025 for Android and iOS. RPG Builder Unknown. Anyway, this is a demo and on development by a single person of indie games developer. I will really respect a person who's tried to make such a great action hack and slash game by himself. It's just a demo about a less than 1 minute gameplay, where the main hero is a male with a sword on his hand. The hero can transform into a dark knight without using any cooldown, and doing it often is possible. The dodge action from a close range combat is able to do. From the game's UI, clearly it will become a mobile game. The video's trailer is only combat fighting. I really hope the developer, whose name is Hobby Coding, will make it fully an action anime game, no matter if it's an open world or not. Starward Mecha Girls. Have been waiting for this game for about 2 years since the game launched the beta testing, and right now in 2025 it's available to download on the Play Store. That's why I always told you to wait patiently while the developer tried to find the issues through releasing the game in a certain country first before ready to release on global version. Now the game has a very good connection and is really stable, even it's kind of a multiplayer based game where we can make a team up between 2 players against 2 real players. The combat arena is quite wide and we can explore the area by flying along the sky and grappling the enemy while in the air. Such a great idea and satisfying games combat we have. In-game, every hero will use 2 different playstyle of long range and also close range. Adjusting the combat style based on the situation need will be the best strategy to win. Once the energy fully recharged, then we can unleash the ultimate skill. Anyway, all of the heroes are female with an interesting appearance and looks. The best anime game ARPG 2025. Honkai Impact 3. Have seen so many new anime games that have come out on mobile in a few decades, but honestly, you all need to play this game right now. Especially if you have a high point specification, then I will guarantee you will love it. Even though the game is not pretty new, but the quality will represent a AAA anime hack and slash. With a lot of free space need will represent such a worthy quality. Until now, the developer is really active in updating the game, even if they make it as an open world game, but you must reach level 30 first to unlock this mode. In combat, we can take 3 heroes on our side and switchable. To unleash the skill, we need a skill points or SP. It will slightly recharge when we hit the enemy with our basic attack. The dodge button is a really crucial action we should learn to make a slow motion action and deal a higher damage when we perfectly avoid the incoming attack. Honkai Impact 3 is the top anime ARPG games Android and iOS 2025. Sword Art Online Variant Showdown. What a great comeback after doing an endless maintenance. Finally, this game comes with a huge progress by the gameplay, graphic, visual and features. It feels like a remake for me, with so much enhancement from many aspects making the game has a great anime game we should play now. Unfortunately, the developer should add a Google Play account to log in, because many of the players prefer to log in through Google account. In-game, we can take some heroes as the partner. Switching the hero will trigger the support skill that will deal the closest enemy in range. I realize the game is quite slower in combat, but it creates a better visual to player to see the action much clearer. It's not only about the main mission, but the other features to grind some material is available now to get some rare rare items for strengthening your hero. As a newbie, we will get SSR hero freely as a gift from the developer, and it's a guarantee. Just setting this hero to clear the earlier stage will make the game's level easier. Sword Art Online Variant Showdown is the best new game anime RPG 2025 mobile. Zenless Zone Zero. However, suddenly becomes a top-tier games developer, especially on mobile platforms. Every single name he made always give a huge positive feedback by the player. I'm pretty sure all of these games are really familiar, like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact 3, and now they create such a crazy action game with a dungeon-based concept. Even though it has a semi-open world, but the game's area is really small to explore, and we should get into a different stage to fight the monster. The monster will respawn in a certain area just after we kill them. Then the next part will be opened up. If you love to play a super fast combat, then I would highly recommend you to try it. It needs a high concentration to avoid and make a perfect dodge action to slow down the enemy and make a counter. Making a combination attack frequently without any limit is the best part in combat. We can multiply the damage and don't let the enemy have a single move by switching the hero. Wuthering Waves. Right now, it's becoming a game to measure how strong your device is, because when you set the graphic maximum, then you will feel the heat on your phone and how the ping. FPS run in a real time based on the temperature it has. It's heavier than a Genshin Impact though. But I hope both games will upgrade the FPS up to 90 frames per second, because nowadays the phone has a better performance. Let's get back into the gameplay. It has a huge open world area where we can do a free exploration by climbing, gliding, swimming, launching a string from one object into a further object. The combat mechanism is super fast-paced level with a dynamic camera angle and amazing skill showcase will deliver a great combat experience to the player. Try to always strengthen your team's combat power to kill the enemy easier, because we can switch the hero without cooling down. It's a cross-platform game for PC and mobile. No wonder the game size will reach more than 20 GB. The best high-graphic anime ARPG games for mobile 2025. Aether Gazer. This game is just unbelievable with super sharp graphic and super detailed visual, but can run the game way too smoothly on mid-range phones, making this game one of my favorite anime action hack and slash game on mobile. Even I get some SSR heroes freely through gacha, and I'm a free-to-play players, which mean I can assume if this is no pay-to-win game. I realize the developer tried to make the combat area smaller. I think it make a huge effect of the rendering system becoming faster. Surely, it will cause the phone is able to maintain the FPS way more stable. That's why we can finish the stage in a short period of estimate time. We can't switch the hero, but when two of our partners reach a maximum energy, then we can unleash their combination skill. If you would like to find a flashy skill showcase game, this game will be your first option to play. Unfortunately, in combat, all of the heroes will have a different skill effect color that makes us sometimes we can't see the action clearly. Solo leveling. I will be honest with you, before you download this game, make sure you know if the game needs a high-end phone to run it. Seriously, the temperature will rise in sudden once you set the graphic maximum. Even while in the combat, I didn't see a huge number of the enemies on the battlefield area. This is a huge work for the game's developer to reduce the heat effect on our devices. Even some YouTubers use this game as the high-end game to represent who the phone can control the heat while playing. The game's combat mechanism is we'll play as a main character while doing the main mission. But once we get into a daily dungeon to get some material, then we are able to use different characters that we got from a gacha. Anyway, the gacha rate is just so-so, and luckily the developer are giving a free SSR hero through email. Solo leveling has a slower action combat if I compare with the other games within the same genre, but the skill mechanism is really interesting by making a combo skill attack that will appear in a certain moment. Crystal of Atlan. I know how many players are anticipating this game to release globally. Even on Chinese version, it's been downloaded by over 10 million players, and it's been tried by the player from all over the world from a different country. The game did the beta testing once with an English version, and I'm so impressed with the voiceover. It's really good in advance. This is a new anime game with a combination of MMORPG and RPG. So we can meet massively multiplayer online players while we are in the village or the city, which is in the lobby. But once we want to clear a mission, then we should get into a portal. The combat mechanism is totally impressed me. It has one of the most clearer combat ARPG on mobile. The attack seems quite slow but really on point, making the player have a better vision to anticipate the incoming attack. In-game, we can create a combo and keep hitting the enemy while in the air and also on the ground. It's pretty satisfying. Will you play the Crystal of Atlan when it's launched globally in 2025? Bonus, Black Beacon. Surprisingly, I never expected this game come to mobile, because the developer never announced the game's trailer since it released beta. The first testing it goes directly come with English version, so I can assume the developer's target is it will launch globally. We should always try to approach the enemy closer to give an extra damage by switching the hero, because this action will trigger an extra move skill and deal the enemy within close area range. All of the skill we launch will not consume any energy, so it's kind of a newbie-friendly action game that is worth trying. Always consistent on hitting by your basic attack to recharge the gates meter. Then you will see how beautiful the ultimate skill is. These all are the best new action game anime with a hack and slash gameplay, but also our team combining an action game that gets a consistent update by the developer. Remember to like this video and see you on the next list. Thanks.